As promised, I am back to feature one of the great events last year that I have not been able to share with you yet. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tasha with Butterfield Alpaca Ranch, and this channel is where I share my alpaca life. So in this video, I am taking you back to the 2021 National Alpaca Show. Alpaca shows is one of my favorite ways to interact with the alpaca community. I always walk away so invigorated and restored in my resolve to do the best I can for my alpacas and to build a business doing what I love. So let's go back in time and I'll show you what happened. Hey everyone, Tasha here. I am coming to you from the Alpaca Owners Association National Show in Grand Island, Nebraska. And we're at the state fairgrounds, which requires masks at all times, which is why I have to wear these. So hopefully the sound won't be too bad and that I can breathe okay. But behind me is the show ring. Actually, there are 4 rings. See the tables there in the middle? And then there's each quadrant around it is a ring. And I'm going to give you kind of a tour of what the show is about and what I'm doing here. So what's happening now, this is the day before the show starts. This is a Thursday. And what's happening now is the alpacas are being checked in. They have to be checked in for color and standards, like the fleece has to be a minimum of 3 inches. So what's happening is once all the animals arrive and are in their pens, which I'll show you in just a bit, that they come in here to the show ring and each animal gets their color checked, which means that the animal is put into the same color grouping as other animals, and so they compete against their own colors. And like I said, they also check for things like if the fiber is long enough and other characteristics, just to see what category they go in. And so everyone's just bringing in their groups, and that's what's happening down there.
Pink, see? Skin down there is pink.
Oh my god.
I'm just doing that because I really like it.
I thought so.
White.
Now you get the black one.
Dark motion? Moonlight
No,
rose.
midnight rose.
Midnight.
Here, baby, come on.
Very carefully.
So a couple benefits of me attending shows like this, even without my animals, because I don't show any of mine, primarily is networking. That's what I'm here for this time. Networking, meeting alpaca owners, potentially working with them to process their fiber. And I actually haven't been to an alpaca show in quite a while. And it's a wonderful way to immerse yourself into the alpaca culture. When you first enter an alpaca show, you're going to notice 2 things. First of all, the smell. The smell is overwhelming. And if you spend too much time here, you're going to end up smelling like alpacas. The other thing you're going to notice is the temperature. It is so cold in here. So cold. And that's because the animals are in their full fleece. Right now we're just a few months away from shearing. Some of them start shearing very soon. If you're more southern, you're going to start shearing very soon. But for the comfort of the alpacas, they keep the temperatures very cool. And actually on the wakayas, they have fans going all the time because they are the most warm. So when you come to an alpaca show, make sure to wear layers because when you're inside, you're going to be cold. And you may want less layers somewhere else. Look at the coloring of this one. Yeah, so this is in the rose gray family. Rose gray has a blend of white, black, and brown fiber. I guess if this is a light. So you really can't tell unless you split the fleece and look down at the skin. That's where the actual color is. What they're doing out there for color check is they open up the fleece and look at what's growing at the skin rather than at the tips. Because the sun can fade the tips or, other elemental factors like if you have red dirt or something like that, that's going to change the fleece appearance. So they do it based on what's at the skin level. I'm kind of guessing that this is a light rose gray, but what I was really enjoying is the black around the eyes and all the colors on the head. And this one here is very curious. Hello. Very warm breath there. The life of the show alpaca. Here he is. All throughout the show, you're going to see farms advertising their farms. And these are going to be ones that have animals to sell or herd sires to sell breedings of. So it's a good way to get in conversations with alpaca owners, to ask questions, especially the ones that are in your region that you might do some work with. You'll also notice that there's some ribbons hanging off of the fences. And these are ribbons from this show. And so if they have an alpaca that wins a ribbon, they hang it here next to wherever they are.
Female Alpaca Ranch in the Ring Around Alpaca Form Female Championships. Following that, class 324, Alpaca Form Female Invited Champion. We're looking for exhibitor number 506.
Hey y'all. At alpaca shows, you'll also find vendors, a variety of vendors. And in this show, we have a small representation this year. And over here on the left is the Alpaca Owners Association booth. Lots of good stuff there. You can find more information from them at alpacainfo.com. Here we are in the show ring. And for nationals, we actually have 4 rings. The main stage there in the middle. You'll hear the announcer making announcements as I speak because I can't really avoid him.
Number 75 for class 325, Alpaca Light Form Juvenile Females. They're about to enter the ring.
So he's calling for anyone who is missing here. You'll see at the far end out there.
The Alpaca Male Fawn Champion and Reserve Champion for all those fawns. And just impeccable amount of fleece and organization and brightness, micron uniformity, all to boot, soft hand. Congratulations for the championship level that you got up to here. And coming from the back row, same class, first and second, now champion reserve. Stunning profile, balance, look at that head style, that upright appearance. The fleece is also quite similar, getting close to that champion complement. So brightness, full boots, great staple length, softness to touch, great micron uniformity as well. But really that solid bone and overall presence is stunning. So well done to the both of you.
We're about to hear feedback from the judge in this ring. Light Surreys. Each group is based on age, fiber type, and color.
So we're just waiting for the last one to come into the ring, who's a little reluctant. There you go.
So this is all the alpacas in the light Surrey classes of males that either won first, second, and I believe third. So she is judging them to determine who is the champion, and then they get a different banner. So she looks at their fleece, their conformation, various characteristics, and makes a determination. She's looking at the fleece in different parts of the body. Oh, sorry, that wasn't even in the middle of the frame.
In the girls' ring, class 325, Wakaya light form juvenile females are ready to line up into the ring. They're ready to go into
Here's
the
another ring.
We're looking for exhibitor number 75. Exhibitor number 75, class 325, Wakaya light form juvenile females are about to enter the ring.
These are Wakayas. Not sure if they're male or female, but fawn. The judge is making his determination. Double checking anything he has a question about or wants to get a closer look at.
And in the Wakaya boys ring, class 130 Wakaya fawn male invited champions are currently in the ring. This is second call now for class 131, Wakaya light fawn juvenile males. Please make your way to ring number 1.
In the far section there you have people bringing their animals for classes that are coming up. Between the green and black fences, you can see over here in the far corner, that's the class that is up next. And so they're lining up in order in which they're on the paper, the register. And they'll walk into that quadrant right there. I think they're waiting on one more animal to show up.
Rolls-Royce Limited Edition from Zinnia Fields, Alpaca Farm, LLC. And the first place, number 515, WLK, Silicon Gold from Wilkins Ranch. Congratulations. And there's also class.
We are awaiting the costume show here. So the costume, it covers the person and the alpaca.
Number 83, Melissa and Tristan. Once upon a time, there was a princess Meg. She was always getting into trouble. Meg had very few friends because they didn't like being in trouble. One day, Meg met a beautiful Pegasus named Tristan. Tristan liked to help save people. Megan and Tristan became really good friends, but sometimes argued over what games to play. Meg really wanted to be friends with Tristan, so she let him choose. She learned she could have fun without getting into trouble, and they lived happily ever after. Next up, we have Summer and Reaper. Once upon a time, there was a warrior named Suki, and she was a powerful warrior. She had a friend named Ange who rode a flying sky bison named Appa. Appa was always getting himself into sticky situations. One day, Ange asked Suki to help him get Appa out of trouble. Appa had flown into a village and eaten all of the farmer's apples, so the city guards had captured him. Suki went into the village and fought off the guards, so Ange set Appa free and flew away to safety. They escaped and lived happily ever after Appa got out of his bellyache. Let's give a big round of applause for Next up, we have Pink Pegasus and the Princess. They are sporting a lovely outfit with alpaca looking between the veil at the beautiful princess while he's dragging his glittery tail behind him. Let's give a big round of applause for Pink Pegasus and the Princess. Was there one more for adult costume class?
Yesterday and this morning, but I'll tell you what, this is very, very difficult out here. And I'm sure you all have your favorites. But one thing that we look for in costume is they all have a story there. We like to hear how they came up with the idea. But we're looking at how the alpaca is tolerating all of the items and apparatuses that the exhibitors have decided to put on them, upon them, around them, on top of them, on the back of them, on their belly, and kind of just put all of that stuff together with their story and just the whole combination of all of that. And in this class, I have to commend all of them. Very unique costumes. I went and I asked each one of them, how'd you come up with this? Awesome ideas. And they all came from, they have a reason, their favorite shows, they are created in the aspect of the mask always tends to get in the way for a little bit, so I'm going to take it off. Anyway, in viewing all of these and going through and listening to your stories, I'm going to go ahead and place them. And all of you deserve a blue ribbon, but for today I can only give you one. So once again, please give them another round of applause. And in first place today, I am going to go with Avatar. Go ahead and come out. Second place, come out here. This is, I'm going to trip over myself here. Third place, and our Husker here from Nebraska. I was telling you, my husband's been like that, so I understand the whole Husker thing and being a farmer and being out there watching the corn grow in the good state of Nebraska. But as I went through all of these, and as I said, you look and you see how much apparatus they have placed upon them, completely covered from toe to belly, chest, rump, things in the middle that are moving as they're moving, on top of the head, antlers that one forward, one back. So that's a bit of a distraction as he's coming in the ring too. So I felt that he deserved this pair here deserve to be at first today. Congratulations. And coming in second, really appreciated this as well. I peeked under the eyes and okay, kind of peeked under me a little, peeked at me too when I lifted that up, and he didn't move an inch. Tolerating every aspect of his costume as well. So really appreciate the joint effort between you, your design of your alpaca, and just the whole costume idea. Placing second.
As I said in the beginning, alpaca shows are one of my favorite things to go and do, to go and visit, to be a part of, because they reinvigorate me and make me excited to be an alpaca owner again. There's something to be said about spending time, on your property with the animals and not having other alpaca people around. We really are our own kind of people. And so when you gather together with like-minded people, like-hearted people, it really means a lot, and it really kind of restores you. You don't feel isolated. You feel like you're actually a part of something pretty special, which we are. Now, if you are someone who has been considering owning alpacas, maybe you've already been doing some research, maybe it's a new idea, I have a resource for you. It's something that I call the Discovering Your Alpaca Life Workbook. And it is designed to help those of you who are really in your research phase to know what questions to ask, where to find the answers, and then to have all that information in one place in an organized way that will be helpful to you when you're deciding if you actually want to be an alpaca owner or not. And then if you decide that you actually want to go forward with this kind of life, then what kind of life does that look like? Do you want it to be a business? Do you want it to be a hobby? Is it just for fun? This workbook, the Discover Your Alpaca Life Workbook, will help you answer those final questions and also help you into the next phase if that is something that you choose to pursue. So take a look down the description box of this video for a link to that workbook. And otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today. This video was so much fun. I cannot say enough how fun it was for me to be at that show, and how fun it was to compile this video for you and be able to share the experience. But I have more to share with you, so stay tuned. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel so you don't miss out on anything. And I will see you on the next video.